There's only a few tracks in NASCAR racing that you have to win at to consider your career complete. Daytona, Bristol, Talladega, Charlotte, and Darlington. Maybe Indianapolis if you're curious in that form, but tonight it's the track too tough to tame. The Lady in Black, it's Darlington Raceway, a 1.3-mile circuit in South Carolina. And Finian, this place, we always look forward to coming here. It's such a challenge for the drivers, for the teams, for everybody to try to compete here at a high level without putting their car in the water.
Yeah, it's a very unique track, and so much so we ran it 3 times over the last week or so. Looking forward to this race. Well, I mean, both races have been pretty good, especially the fuel race. They had a phenomenal job of keeping it green and keeping it very competitive. So we'll see how these guys match up. We got a pretty sizable fuel, about 30 cars here for tonight's race, and also a lot of throwback schemes amongst them.
Absolutely. So we're going to head down to the racetrack right now. Qualifying is almost complete. Chris Stouffer out on the course right now, making his second start of the season in that number 5 car. And I'm going to take a random guess. Say that's a Terry Labonte throwback in that number 5. So we got ridiculed on fuel on Tuesday for not knowing some schemes because we're too young for all this, Finian. We're only 21, 22 years old, so we don't really know all these older schemes. But Stouffer, that is a generation of racer that I know and understand. So it's good to see him out there in the number 5. New lighting effects this week. Thank you to iRacing for this spectacular new build. Looks really pretty out there.
If you want to go to the nose as it comes through out of turn 2.
Ooh, that is pretty. Onto the back straightaway now as the sun is setting on the horizon. This is an interesting thing for the drivers, though, Finian, because their visibility is going to go down a little bit with these new effects. And with that being said, I think this racetrack caters to the most talented of the group. And there was a discussion earlier this week as to which driver might take home the checker flag this time around, and a lot of fingers were pointing at Alec Martinez, and the number 18 performed really, really well at Daytona, and he ran here in fuel on Tuesday, ended up finishing inside the top 5. So we know that 18 car is going to be competing at a high level.
Yeah, we expect to see him as they pretty much be towards the front. You see him with I'm not sure who he's throwing back to, but that's a fantastic scheme.
JC Lakatos on track, and a new paint scheme this week for him, designed by David Mott Jr., one of the administrators for the Outsider Racing League. Look at the shine and the flex that the car has on it. Great looking car. It's got Grid Life and FCP Euro on the tailgate. So new sponsor with the Sim Motorsports crew. And he's heading around. But meanwhile on pole, Adam Cabot has the top spot as we finish up qualifying here. The times on the left-hand side of the screen, and by just a couple hundredths of a second, Adam Cabot looks like he might be the one to grab the pole here. Thomas Morris, Chuck Sweeting, other drivers that have come in here from other leagues in the past. So it's good to see leagues kind of spilling over into Outsiders. This is going to be a really, really strong race tonight. 160 laps around this racetrack, Finian. Keys to how to do well here.
Yeah, really the number one and foremost thing above anything else is keeping off these walls, which is a really hard thing to do considering you're pretty much running up against them the entire race. But it's going to be a really big key to keep the car as clean as possible, keeping it off not just the wall but also your other competitors.
So let's take a look at our track conditions for the night. It's a beautiful evening here, maybe a bit warm, 89 degrees on the track, 84 in the air, so a pretty nice evening, all things considered. Track temp, gonna drop a little bit as the night goes on. The track's gonna grip up. But what did you see on fuel on Tuesday, Finn? We saw, as we usually see, high attrition rates here. Not multi-car accidents, but just single cars taking themselves out of the hunt. So, like you said, the key is to just stay out of the wall and keep yourself from getting that Darlington stripe at least too early in the going.
Yeah, we didn't really see a lot of big wrecks in that race, but what we did see is a lot of guys just you know, like you said, just hitting the wall, getting to those incidents, and then eventually just pulling off the track because they're sick of kind of hitting the wall repetitively lap after lap. So we'll see what we're up for in this race if we do have any big wrecks. Haven't really seen a whole lot yet.
Adam Cabot, Alec Martinez sharing the front row. Cabot in the 77, Alec Martinez in the 18 on the outside of that front row.
And moving on back to row number 2, Chuck Sweeting will be starting on the inside of the 28 car. Outside of him, Josiah Vincent in the 4. We'll round out row number 2.
A strong run last week for Josiah. Brandon Bowers in the 31, starting 5th alongside Mark Emerson in the number 22. He'll be starting on the outside of row 3 in 6th place.
Back in row number 4, we're going to have Martin Sproul in the 19. In 7th place, outside of him in 8th, will be Elliot Butler in the 6th car.
Starting in 9th, it's going to be Eli Hinton in his number 13. That's throwing back to David Pearson in the Silver Fox. And Yusuf Ghali right to the outside of him in a Motorcraft Ford in the number 12.
Back in row number 6, Tim Downey Jr. He's been having a pretty good stretch of races as of late, especially at Daytona. He's going to be starting in the 25 and 11th. And then outside of him, that's 36 to Joshua Banks.
And Alex Bell starting 13th alongside Andrew Talganoff in the number 3. He is our in-race reporter tonight. Excited to see him get back out to the racetrack, and I think everybody recognizes that paint scheme.
Yeah, nothing really needs to be said about that. Back behind him in 15, Chris Stover in the 5 car with his throwback scheme.
Jeff Wright was the driver there. Jesse Pierce starting 17th in the number 17 car. Austin Carpay in 18th. And we've got a couple more rows of cars here. Brian Chambliss, William Troy starting 19th and 20th. And I have yet to see where Jeremy Miller is, who was last week's winner. I do not see him in the field quite yet. Looking down my list, yes, he is here, and he's starting 22nd in the number 30. So a long way for him to climb after winning for the first time in ORL competition last week at Daytona. What a way to start the season for the 30. We'll see if he can continue.
Yeah, come a long ways from the back of the field to try to repeat. Definitely is possible, though. We've seen him have a better pace this season than last, so we'll see if he can continue that trend upward.
Up front, though, it's Alec Martinez on the outside and Adam Cabot on the inside. There is an Interstate Batteries throwback on the 77 car. A good-looking machine indeed. We're going to go through some of the more of those throwback paint schemes when we get on later in the race. But out of turn 4, 160 laps at the Lady in Black. Green flag flies, racing at Darlington.
And a great start for Cabot on the inside. Alec Martinez is going to maintain on to second. And Chuck Sweeting trying to break away in
wow.
Everyone gets sorted off in turn 1. See Martinez with a big dive in turn 1.
We saw that in the Southern 500 this year, and you and I both exclaimed we hadn't seen that really work before, but with the extra downforce, that banking, below the banking, that apron, it kind of becomes a useful area. So Martinez down low early, but it won't stop Chuck Sweeting in the 28 car from diving to the inside down in turn 3. He's going to second, maybe to the lead.
Sweeting with a dive to the inside, and he's ready to move up to the front, although it looks like Martinez is going to win out in turns 3 and 4 on the high side. We've seen that high side be dominant in the second part of the track.
Absolutely. So one lap complete, everybody clean and on through, and all of a sudden Sweeting fading very quickly on the inside. Martin Sproul, the 19 right behind him, going to get to the outside. Eli Hinton, that's a beautiful number 13, by the way. Already going to his outside as well. Gold rims on that car, just a beautiful looking scheme. He's up in the wall. Oh. Darlington strike her early. Miller is going to get a piece of it. Actually, that's not Miller in that car. That is, there's 2 Valvoline cars out there. That's Elliott Butler in the 6.
He got on the wall and checked everyone off the 21, as well as Stover behind. Also, Miller, too, was looking slow on the inside.
Yeah, so everyone was kind of stacking up because of that. But up front, side by side for the lead. Adam Cabot has it on the back straight, and Alec Martinez wants it. But here comes Brandon Bowers in the 31, scraping the wall into turn 3.
Yeah, he's looking really racy early on, and Martinez still tries to go to the inside of Cabot. We were talking to him earlier. He said he's worried about one guy in this field, and that's at 77 out in front. So he thinks that Cabot might be able to win this race, but we'll see if any concern has got some. I think Bowers, too, looking strong in second.
Clean start. How about Tim Downey Jr. in the 25? Started in 11th. He's down to 14th, so he's dropped down some spots here early, but was probably caught in behind that mess. And meanwhile, behind, there's the 42 of Brian Chambliss. He's got William Troy tucked in behind him, and a very fitting throwback for the 48 of Jeff Wright, Jimmy Johnson's paint scheme. He's up in the wall already, so already some more cars on the wall. I think we've seen more cars on the wall here already than we did entirely on Tuesday. So tricky conditions out here, but for the lead, Brandon Bowers has it. Martinez is through and crashed behind him. And Chuck Sweeting in the wall and crash here early at Darlington.
Actually, I think that started a little bit before.
Oh, it's a big wreck behind.
Because I noticed Adam Cabot, he was actually back in that mix.
Yeah,
Martinez and Bowers were going for the lead there. So something happened to Cabot that I think started that.
Andrew Talganoff out early here at Darlington. That's a shame to see. So what happened here to the 28? You mentioned that the 77 was down a couple spots.
Yeah, so I think something might have happened on before eventually that put him back there.
So here's another look. And this is through 3 and 4 here. Oh, the 31 got up into the 77, forced him out. And then we have to follow the 28 car because this is where it really gets interesting.
Yeah, so all these guys get kind of checked up side by side.
It happened behind.
No, it happened, so right in front of them.
I'm just trying to catch what the 28 car is. Sorry, we'll look at this in slow motion here to get a better idea of what happened. So here's the 28 of Sweeting. And so it was Cabot on the... Oh, I think Sweeting just...
He got put... No, he got...
Did he?
Cabot got put into the wall by the car ahead of him. I don't know who's in that skull car.
So this... Yeah, here's another look. So there's the 77 of Cabot. And that's the... Is that Vincent?
No, it's Martin Sproul.
Oh, Martin Sproul. I see. So they get into the corner. Ooh, Sproul goes right up into the 77. You're right there, Finney. And then Sweeting kind of gets slowed up and just carnage from there.
Yeah, he tried to get on the brakes and then unfortunately got spun loose. Stouffer into the wall, into him hard, as well as Andrew Talganoff. So both those cars It'll be effectively
Wow.
done.
And then
William
Jeremy
Troy,
Miller, last week's winner, got into it. Brian Chambliss just missed it. Troy got into it. That is the 21. Nope, that's the 71. I'm just trying to see. There's so many cars involved in this here. Trying to get a better look at this.
That was the 21 Trejo you're looking at. That
Okay, gotcha. But there's just so much going on here. The 87 gets turned in sideways. Miller clobbers the 28. The 14 got involved as well. Then Trejo comes on through. It was the 21.
Yeah, Jeremiah Vincent also got a piece of that on his left rear.
Yeah, so again, just not the way to start the race for a lot of these guys. We torn up probably 4 or 5 really good cars here terminally. Look at that mess as they get caught up in it. Here it is again at full speed from on board the 28. He just checked up and braked, and you're a passenger at this point. And right here, he's going to get clobbered in the side. And that's going to be it for the 28 and several others. So let's get a body count here as we should be getting the 1 to green here shortly. Looking at our data, it shows that Joshua Banks has potentially also got damage. Yeah, that car is pretty much done here, Finian. One of the dominant cars from last week. William Troy is also out. Chris Stouffer, Chuck Sweeting, Andrew Telganoff, and David Mott Jr. So 5 cars, 6 cars, 7 cars actually, pretty much torn up and done for the night.
Yeah, really unfortunate. Like you said, too, a lot of strong competitors that we expected to see at the top of the field. Pretty much where this wreck started involved in that incident and out of it. But Cabot, though, it looks like he got off with pretty much nothing because he wasn't technically involved in that, though it kind of started with people checking up for him. So he's better off worse for wear, but back in 22nd.
Yeah, he's got some damage to the left and right front, but that's damage that everyone's probably going to have by the end of the race, but really not looking good. Jeremiah Vincent also has a ton of damage on that 8, at least on the side. So a lot of cars got a piece of this, but not everybody got completely totaled by it. You see Trejo with some left front damage there. Brennan Gagnon returning to the racetrack in his number 83, mellow yellow throwback. Good looking car, but I really, really hate it for Andrew Telganoff. Was supposed to be our in-race reporter tonight. That car terminally destroyed, and was looking forward to this race quite a bit. Was very excited about running it, and very, very short night for the 3.
Going to end on effectively lap 5 for the 3, unless he decides to get back out there, though I doubt he probably would because he's not running for points.
No.
So
not a whole lot of fun driving around there with a destroyed race car. Yeah. All right, well, let's try this again. Re-rack them, restack them. For a restart, it'll be on lap number 10, so effectively we've made this a 151-lap race. They're working their way through 1 and 2. Alec Martinez leads the way. Brennan Bowers on the outside, and it's Emerson, Vincent, Sproul the rest of the top 5.
Chance for Martinez, Bowers, and even Emerson to had a fantastic recovery at Daytona, looking really bad for him, but it really raked in the points last week. They're looking to do so again, running improved so far. So those top 3 have a chance of breaking away from Cabot. Because Cabot's now stuck in traffic and has to work through the field.
Josiah Vincent also up here. He's had a really strong start to this season. Had a pretty good season last season as well, but I think this has really been a great start for him. So we'll see if that 4 car can do a whole lot about it. Alex Bell sitting 7th. He's been mighty good here. Yusuf Ghali as well, but returning to the racetrack, returning to green flag conditions. Green flag back in the air here at the Lady in Black.
Yeah, Martinez off to a great start. Bowers trying to defend from Mark Emerson on the inside. Emerson going to just tuck in behind him and stay 3rd. There you see the 19 Martin Sproul getting up through the field.
Out in turn 2, everyone trying to find room to race. Josiah Vincent being conservative. Whoa! Jeff Wright cutting it close with a wall out of turn 2.
Couldn't really get much closer than that on this tagging safety rear, and some guys taking the safety rear on entry into 3 and 4 very common thing we've seen.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of cars get into the wall here pretty early, which is not something we saw on Tuesday with the Fuel Cup Series. I think most people there discreetly in the rear kind of took themselves out of the race, but we're seeing a lot of guys up front scraping here early. There's Bill Alt in the number 96, new entry this season. And sitting 18th right now, there's the 9 of Austin Carpe on the outside, who ran a limited time schedule last season. That's a great looking number 9 car he's got this time around. Jumping back up to the front, though, it's pretty dicey. Martinez leads the way, but it's Bowers, Emerson, Sproul, Ghali, your top 5. It's so interesting to me how this top 5 has changed and fluctuated in the couple seasons we've done with Roll Around. A very different group leading the way here early.
Yeah, a lot of guys kind of coming up to the front. It's kind of, I think, all going to do a little bit before his package. Come out and got to, change up the order quite a bit. But yeah, well, Brandon Bowers too in the 31, having a really great run compared to what we've seen him do in the past, and again, amongst a lot of other guys that we would expect to see here, like Emerson, Sproul, Golly, and Josiah Vincent.
13 laps in here, there's a bit of a cluster towards the rear of the field here. Jeremy Miller is in the middle of it. There's Brian Gagnon right ahead of it. Then it's Trejo, Jeremiah Vincent, a couple cars that are hurting a little bit. We jump up the road. Thomas Morris, a new entry this season. Got Gigabyte on the side of that 99. And trying to climb forward, but a long way to go for this 23.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit of traffic, 50 more cabins, to 60 after the starting error on board with this Golly as he works through. And looks like, Sproul had a big pickup there on the outside and side by side with Vincent.
On the back straightaway now, and pretty nose to tail here. Whoa! Cutting it really close with the 25 and Tim Downey Jr. on the outside.
This is the tough thing when you get put on that inside lane and he's kind of get free turning outside. You see Vincent slot himself right in between the 25 and the 15 to get himself back in line and stop him losing spots.
At almost pretty much full throttle here through 1 and 2. You're using all the downforce in these cars. Then on corner exit, still flattening. You get down to turns 3 and 4, and that's a different story.
Yeah, we're going to see that change as the run goes on. Just due to the tires wearing out. But we're at the top 4, all nose and tail together, running very close, especially Houston Golly looking to make a pass on Mark Emerson.
Up towards the front. And as you mentioned, Yusuf Ghali, that is a very impressive driver in that number 12 car. Has won before in ORL competition. And right now trying to do it again, but he's got some drivers to work over. Mark Emerson in the 22 X-Side batteries on the side of that car. And there's Bowers on the outside. Is that a Jeff Burton?
Yeah.
Thank you.
When he was at Roush.
Again, I'm too young for this.
Yeah, when he was at Roush in the 99.
All right, so we got a couple laps clean and green under our belt here. Let's jump on back. Casey Lakatos in number 50. Currently 15th after starting 23rd, up 8 spots in this car.
Still gain a few more. He's working on Elliott Butler. But Butler's been kind of struggling after narrowly avoiding that wreck. I think got a few bumps and scrapes.
Yeah, he did a good job getting out of that mix-up with pretty minimal damage. Has some rear-end damage, but I think other than that, he's pretty clean. Mark Emerson and Ghali continue their fight, but we're about 18, almost 20 laps into the race here, and it looks like, again, Alec Martinez has this kind of figured out. We saw this on Tuesday. He wasn't able to take home the victory there, but the field strength here in ORL is as good, if not a little bit better, than Fuel Series. So it's, you know, I'm looking at the 18 and saying he looks good here early, but when the track changes, I'm not so sure he'll be as good, but we'll see.
Yeah, we did see him better on more slow conditions, but once he got a little of the track, he drifted into 90. He lost a little bit of that pace. And wasn't able to win with that, but we'll see. He's got a lot of cars behind him.
Behind him, it's just an all-out stack up for second place. The 31, the 22, the 12, and now the 19 is Sproul. How about Martin Sproul again? Came in late at the end of last season and was immediately successful. Top 5s in his first couple races, as you see Ghali pop out of line on the 22.
Yeah, he's already appeared as a championship favorite, I think, going into this season with the way he ran last season. Just kind of showing up out of nowhere. So we'll see. We'll definitely keep an eye on him. But this is pretty much right where he left off, running inside the top 5, looking for more. He's got Ghali up ahead.
Off into turn 3, really close to that wall. Ghali bounces off, some sparks flying off the bumper of that number 12 car. And the Darlington stripe picked up again. How about the 77 cabin? His progress forward has been not incredibly fast. I think he's just trying to take his time to keep his fenders clean. That right front already looking pretty in need of repair here on that 77.
Yeah, he's actually dropping back. He's in 16th at one point, back in 18th, now 19th. That's Halpern works around him. So yeah, he's not having a fun time in that car, and I think it's only going to get worse.
Caution.
And there's a caution out.
Bill Alt in the 96. He's off the racetrack already. But ooh, this is a nasty hit. This is on the exit of turn 2. And here's what happened. Got on the apron, exited. Oh, this is a classic Darlington wreck. Bounced off the fence, and was about to go back into traffic. And wow, did a good job trying to get off the racetrack. But let's watch this in a couple different angles here. This is a really nasty wreck, but it's typical Darlington. This is how it tends to be. And you see him kind of trying to arc it down, and you want to do this. You want to arc down, clip the apron if you can, but if you get it wrong, like right there, he doesn't get on it enough.
He went also a little, he apexed it a little bit too early.
Yeah.
And his trajectory just went into the wall hard in the inside. That's gonna end your day pretty much with that, and then
Gagnon in the 83, and that's Morris in the 99. Oh, he did actually get the 30 of Miller, I believe. So let's actually ride on board with Miller in the 30. And Miller's luck has not been here tonight after doing very well at Daytona last weekend, ended up winning that race out of turn 2. Yeah, you're committed. Not much you can do there. And that car's probably not going to do so hot now. Headed back up to pit stops underway here, Finian. A couple drivers staying out probably just to get some points, but 4 tires and fuel pretty much the strategy every single time, I would imagine. Yep,
I think so. Looks like Keith Licata's just kind of rolled through pit lane. He was going to appear ahead of these guys.
We're waiting to see if we could talk to Andrew Telganoff.
No, and off of pit road, it's going to be Alec Martinez and Brandon Bowers, and it looks like also Yusuf Ghali has gained a few spots on pit road, but interested in seeing if any of the guys up front decide to stay out there or if they'll come back in.
So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to talk to Andrew Telganoff because he was supposed to run the race tonight, ended up getting caught up in a wreck early. Andrew, welcome to the booth. I know it's a little premature. You'd rather be behind the wheel of your number 3, but Darlington, I know you're not running it anymore. You're crashed out, but this place is awesome, isn't it?
It is. It's a special track, a lot of history behind it, and you know, even though I'm out of the race, it's a little, yeah, like you said, premature to be sitting here. I didn't expect to be interviewed like this. I'd rather have it at the end of the race in victory lane, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, like you said, this track is great, and I mean, all these paint schemes out here, everybody, they're running throwbacks, at least 85% of the guys. Man, I don't know, this is pretty cool, man. It's a good race. It's going to end up on their lights, and hopefully we can get these cautions out of the way. But other than that, yeah, the GM Goodrich Camaro was good tonight, and I don't know what happened in front of me, but literally nothing I could do about it. It's upsetting, but hey, it is what it is. I'm not running for points, just trying to go out there and win the damn race. But this shit happens. It happens a lot when I run with these guys, but it's, you know, nothing against them. It's just the wrong place at the wrong time.
I know you're partial to the Dale Earnhardt situation, but is there any other scheme out there that is your favorite that you've seen so far?
Man, there's really, it's really hard to say. But I mean, Jesse Pierce in the 17 is a really nice throwback. I believe that's the Darrell Waltrip throwback. I'm not really sure. And, there's too many, man. I can't favor anybody. I mean, all these guys took time into these paints, getting them painted up. David Mott painted some up. I know Jordan Ashland painted some up. Unfortunately for Reggie Ortega, he was going to run a throwback. He's not here tonight, so shout out to him. And they're all looking good, but I think that 18, your boy is looking pretty good out there so far. So, well, maybe he'll pull away with the W as long as he can stay out in clean air, as Hasty would say.
Absolutely. Excellent race here at Darlington so far. A couple yellows off here early, but we tend to get longer green flag runs as the race goes on. So unfortunate early end to Andrew Telganoff tonight, but Andrew, thanks for chatting with us. We'll probably check in with you a little bit later.
Alrighty. Good luck, guys.
Absolutely. All right, I was going to say, that 13 car that Eli Hinton's driving, that is the prettiest race car out here for me. I mean, just the gold rims, the whole package on that 13, the David Pearson car, looks really, really cool.
Yeah, Eastern Tennessee Ford dealers on the side of that thing. Yeah, that is a really cool car. Also, I really dig how Martinez's car too. It has like modern sponsors with the like throwback style. Yeah, I always love when they incorporate, like, even too with the grid life with the Windows logo looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Excellent job whoever painted that. But coming through turns 3 and 4, gonna try this one more time. 25 laps into a 160 lap race. Martinez, Bowers, Ghali, Emerson, and Martin Sproul, your top 5. Not a whole lot has changed here since the last restart, but we're going green again. Cameras flashing, green flag back in the air.
Ooh, not a good start for Brandon Bowers. I see Emerson all over his back bumper, just trying to give him a shove ahead. And both him and Ghali are side by side into turn number 1 and 2 to third place.
Look who's creeping into the picture. Alex Bell, this number 15. He's a really, really strong driver, especially at these trickier racetracks. Off into 3, taking a look at Tim Downey Jr. Gonna dive underneath him and look up the road. Ghali going for the inside of Bowers.
Yeah, Ghali for the inside of Emerson, as they're both still side by side after the first few corners, but Emerson gonna get a nice run off of turn 4, gonna try to slide ahead, and you see Ghali try to clear in front of Josiah Vincent. Giving Vincent check up.
Oh, he gets turned in front of the field. 2, 3, 4, 5 cars all in it. Turn 2 is a disaster zone as they crash down the turn number 2 area, sliding down the banking, and that's a big one.
Yeah, that's the big one right there.
Oh, man.
That took out a lot. That took the first wreck took out quite a few good cars. This took out a lot of good cars, or at least gave them a lot of damage.
This has been a very different start to the race than we saw. I mean, Fuel had 3 cautions in 182 laps, and I think this is our 3rd already within 28. So the aggression level is picked up here early at Darlington. What happened here? The 4 got checked up entering the corner, and then it was just a mess from there on out as he tried to collect it, but it was the 12 of Yusuf Ghali that I think kind of spooked him when he got on the brakes, and then Ford checked up and Sproul got into him and stacked up the whole grid.
Yeah, this is a classic case of a wreck in front of you, but not many places to go for all these guys who are going next to full throttle through the corners.
This is an absolute mess, and here's a look from the digger cam down here in turn number 1. Past that, but then they're probably, when we get out of turn 2 here, going to see not a whole lot of cars coming after the first 4 there. That took out a lot of really good race cars.
Yeah, Jeff Wright got a pretty solid piece of that as well there, you see it. So Martin Sproul gets turned around, 42 Chambliss, 29 Aronis involved.
Carpe, Cabot's in there as well.
Cabot's pretty much done with that car.
Eli Hinton got caught in it, so did the 17 of Jesse Pierce. Let's look at this again. A little slower here, but yeah, I think the 4 got in right behind the 12 and got spooked and jumped on the brakes, and the 19 was already committed.
And that's kind of the problem with Darlington is like when you're going through the corners like this, you're pretty much committed to the line you choose. There's not a whole lot of moving around,
right,
or a lot of room to give.
And it's just a big stack up, and what a mess this was. And Casey Lakatos was following this, and look at this hornet's nest he sees. We're going to run on board with them full speed here.
He was pretty much at the back of the field when this happened. So at overtime, we're able to pretty much see it and start checking up.
Wow, look at that. It's just a wall of race cars, and got on the brakes and just came to it. Look at Joshua Banks, too. Let's get right on board with him here as he came to a dead stop. Oh, Joshua Banks is running 10th somehow. I was looking way down the order for him. Wow, this is an incredible job to miss this. Look at the 8 car spinning to miss it. Great job by these guys towards the back. Not what you want to see here early. How about the 48 of Jeff Wright was in the middle of it?
And he had absolutely nowhere to go. Yeah, Belda's inside here. Jam was right in front of him. And he just tried to break.
Right on board the back of the 48. Oh, man. Such a violent impact there. Watch that one more time. You see the 13 of Eli Hinton. He spun out himself trying to get out of the way. Just not a whole lot of cars made it out of turn 2 that time by. All right, Finian, so that was pretty quick after the restart. I don't think we saw pit stops that time through, but we're losing cars at a pretty alarming rate here. We only have about 19 left.
Yeah, Desai Vincent, Martin Sproul, they're in the pits. Looks like they're still getting repairs to their cars. However, it looks like Thomas Morris, he's called it a day.
Yeah, Morris, again, new to the series. Not a fun way to start your run in a new series is in the fence, but I guess we'll see how it goes here as we have completed 30 of our 160 laps tonight. And we've only had a couple cautions, but the wrecks that we have had have been really large ones, and that's just because we're so tight together with this newer package. There's really nothing you can do. Nobody could have done anything to miss that wreck after it started.
These guys don't get spread out as much as they used to. Just to feel like so the package. These guys a lot closer together, which is unfortunate because when you have these giant wrecks, you're all close together and really run out of places to go once a wreck starts happening.
Your top 5 is going to be Martinez, Bowers, Emerson, Ghali, and Bell. And don't sleep on Alex Bell. I mentioned before.
Yeah,
he's been inside the top 10.
Where did he start? He started midfield.
13th.
Yeah, okay. Not as bad as I thought, but yeah, you definitely see him creep up to the front when it gets down to it in the later part of the race. But we're still fairly early on, and he's up running 5th, so he can hopefully continue that charge upwards.
Alec Martinez has led 24 of the 31 laps so far. I don't really see that changing. He's been pretty dominant out front, and he's losing a lot of cars. A lot of very competitive cars are out here early. This is going to be harder and harder for the rest of the field to take this away from Alec Martinez. So out of turn 4, let's go back green again. And green flag back in the air, and already some shuffling at the back of the grid, but relaunching here.
A very spread out start compared to what we've seen. So a lot of guys can see it already. A lot of guys in the back there with damage, just trying to get sorted out in line.
Side by side for third place, that was Golly and Brennan Bowers that was side by side. There's a 19 of Sprout getting out of the way. Emerson through to second, Golly through to third, Bowers down 2 spots to fourth. Elliott Butler has creeped his way back inside the top 5.
Yeah, he's made his way up there after a lot of guys with damage dropped out or dropped to the back, so he's taking advantage of that. He's trying to get to the outside of Golly by turn 1, and we'll do exactly that.
Yeah, this 6 car is looking legitimately really fast, and his best lap time is only about 2/10 off of Alec Martinez's best lap time. So this 6 car is going to be quick. We'll keep an eye on him. Jeff Wright in the background got into the fence out of 4. Will continue. Off into turn 1. The 6 car goes around the outside of Golly, clears him, and Alex Bell now creeping into the picture in that number 15.
Yeah, Bell's trying to creep up and move up more positions. Lost one on the start, but now trying to get that back and get around Golly.
Top 2, though, getting pretty close. Martinez leads the way. Emerson closing in.
So there goes Emerson shooting inside, going to try to take the lead in turn 3. We haven't really seen a whole lot of success here, and I don't think we will. As you see Martinez getting a great run on the outside. Emerson just can't compete with that.
No, the outside is the place to be in 3 and 4, but Emerson does look quicker right now, so you'd think Martinez would lay over, let him go. The problem is we've already lost a big portion of the field. We might go green now for 100 laps, so you don't want to let a guy just get out in front and drive away.
And it can't be mentioned enough how important clean air is with this package. You want to have as much clean air as you possibly can get, and definitely don't want to try to be running in behind someone. So Martinez is going to do everything he can to keep those guys in behind him, especially if he can, because he's running again at a really good pace. So.
Absolutely, and behind him, everyone's kind of single filing out right now. Joshua Banks in that 36, he was wrecked earlier. He's sitting inside the top 10, so good start from Clifton Cockrell in the 16. He's in 12th place right now after starting 24th, so he's managed to get himself up inside the top 15 without a whole lot of damage to that race car, so looking good. There is Eddie Trejo, who got some wrecks early and trying to continue to climb the order. Up front again, single filing out. I think it's about time. We're about 36 laps into the race. Golly looking for 4th on Elliott Butler. I think it's about time, Finian, to maybe, I don't know, throw it back?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Here's the perfect time, especially and as I say that, they're starting to get bunched up here. And you see Jeremiah Vincent trying to hold these guys up, and Bell's just going to have to back off into the corner. Drops up quite a few spots back, loses 4 spots after getting put out in line. So he's going to have to get all those spots back. And Casey Lakatos now
in 8th place.
Yeah, up into 8th place. So he's going to go quite a few spots now.
A very good climb for the 50 of Lakatos up the road again. Golly trying to latch onto the rear of Elliott Butler. They almost made contact there through 1 and 2, and Golly turns hard left out of turn 2, goes to the inside.
And the inside of Butler, great move for the 12. We see him make quite a few good moves so far, and there he goes into 4th place, just ahead of Elliott Butler. Now we'll try to chase down Brandon Bowers and company up ahead of him. A lot of guys stacking up in behind for 5th. Elliott Butler and Jeremiah Vincent, Bell kind of rounding out the group, and actually even throw in Joshua Banks at the tail end of this. But looks like everyone's getting bunched up in behind Butler here. Jeremiah Vincent trying to look for a place to go, can't get it done.
Yeah, Vincent kind of has a couple of cars stacked up behind. Jesse Pierce is one of them in that number 17. Wow, it got really tight there out of 4.
And Pierce is looking for any way around to get around the 8 because he knows that he's faster. Just can't get a lane clear to make the pass happen.
That's a beautiful looking race car on Jesse Pierce's machine right now. Alex Bell has slipped to 9th, but Casey Lakatos is trying to climb up the order in his number 50. And Banks and Gagnon also trying to chase them down. Angelo Ronas, wasn't he crashed earlier? He's sitting 12th right now.
Yeah, he was crashed quite a bit. Not as bad, I guess, as his other competitors, but still a decent amount of damage to both the front and the rear. Nothing else to the sides. I think that's the more important thing. So he's going to continue soldiering on, trying to get around Brandon Gagnon.
All right, so 120 laps to go. Up front, though, battle for the lead. Martinez to the inside, or outside, rather, and Mark Emerson has cleared him for the top spot. So move Emerson up to the lead.
Yet. Not done yet. Here comes Martinez to the inside. He's going to try to race down Emerson into turn 1. He's going to get the pass done here as he takes the inside. No, can't get. Whoa! He does get clear. Wow.
Great pass there by the 18 of Martinez back to the top spot. quiet. Off into turn 3 now. Bowers trying to close in on the 22. As Emerson, I think Emerson's definitely the faster car here. He's just struggling to get by. He had it for a moment, but Martinez did an excellent job of crossing him back over.
Yeah, was able to make the pass, wasn't able to hold on to it, and we'll see if he can get back on it here as he tries to regain that run and momentum. Though he's got Bowers and Golly closing in behind him.
Onto the back straightaway, Martinez continues to lead. Emerson really putting on the heat on that 18 car, but has dropped back for now, maybe trying to cool off his tires. Elliott Butler sits 5th, Yusuf Ghali back up into 4th. So Ghali lost some speed there for a little while, but has found something again. And the top 10 all tightened up together.
This is a really close and really intense racing here. Let's see how much these guys can keep this going as far as keeping it close together, or some guys will start to fall off due to tire wear.
And Darlington does eat tires, Finian. So every time you come to pit road, you're going to want 4 tires and fuel. But we got a long way to go before we're going to see pit stops. We've only been running about 20 laps, so I think we might see another 20 to 30, maybe even 40 laps. We saw on Tuesday, fuel went about 60 before they came to pit road.
Yeah, and looks like Emerson had a hit with the wall. He's definitely pushing, trying to get back to the 18, although looks like he's not as successful facing him down this run so far.
Leading the way, Alec Martinez ran really well at Daytona last week, but probably should have won the race on Tuesday in the Fuel Cup Series right here at Darlington. He was denied a victory then. I don't think we're going to see that tonight if he continues running at this pace, but Emerson wants to do that. Brandon Bowers putting on a spectacular performance in his number 31 Mustang. Haven't really seen a lot of the Bowers in the past. He's shown kind of moments of greatness, but hasn't really been able to do a whole lot with it yet, so maybe tonight is his night in that 31.
Yeah, it'll be awesome to get him in victory lane. Have 2 first-time winners this season in the first few starts. That would be really awesome to see.
The single filed out. That's the 6-car Butler that got in the wall, and it's going to stack up Vincent and Jesse Pierce. Lakatos is there as well, all fighting inside the top 10.
And here comes Vincent out for a look. Nope, doesn't have enough of a run to make it happen. He's going to settle in back in behind the 6 of Butler, but definitely a lot of these guys in behind him. Vincent and Pierce looking faster than the 6 of Butler at the moment.
Sun is setting, and the track is going dark. And this is when it gets dicey because you feel the grip level increasing. You feel like you can do more with the race car, and you just can't. So you have to be careful not to throw your stuff in the wall. Now that you think you got more grip, you don't. So don't really try. I mean, you do, but you don't. You don't want to chuck yourself in the wall.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, and it's really easy to push over that limit, especially again worn out all the tires and stuck in behind people. You're going to want to push that extra inch, but. We said this before, once you start hitting the wall, you typically hit the wall more and more as it goes on, and you get more and more damage to your car, so you really want to avoid that effect. As you see Case Lakatos make a nice move to the inside of Jesse Pierce. Pierce, though, going to keep that run on the outside going.
Pierce and Lakatos side by side through turns 3 and 4, and I don't think Lakatos will be able to complete this pass, so Pierce will hang on to it for now. I just love this livery on this 17 car. Looks spectacular. Right up against the wall in 1 and 2, then arc it down out of 2 for that long back straightaway.
The entire top 10 within about 3.5 seconds of each other, so very close up towards the front.
Martinez out to a 1-second lead over Mark Emerson, though, so fighting the 22 hard paid off, and the 18 beginning to pull away now, so we'll keep an eye on that lead, but for now, the top 5 are beginning to separate just a touch.
Yeah, Emerson really, I think what he needs is to get some fresher tires back on that car to get himself back in the competition. If anything, he's going to probably want to undercut over that 18 and kind of put himself ahead.
Really, from 10th on back, it's pretty quiet, although I make an exception for this little group. How about Gagnon, then Ronis, and Eli Hinton? This is all for position. Gagnon pulling off the racetrack just for a pit stop. And pulling way, way down. Pit road, very challenging to get to here, but he's on pit lane now. Let's jump back up to that battle with Hinton and Ronis, though. This got a little dicey.
Yeah, it's going to get quite dicey. I think Hinton has been moving up quite a few spots. That car in a lot better position than a lot of the other guys around him, specifically Ronis. So it looks like he's also trying to break away from the rest of these guys.
I love putting the displacement in cubic inches on the side of the hood. I think that's a really cool feature that a lot of these old cars have. And as we say this, I want to jump back up the road to Jeremiah Vincent because he's got that field stacked up behind him again, and Pierce and Lakatos still going side by side through 1 and 2.
Lakatos going to throw it into there, and it looks like Pierce is actually going to give him the lane. Lakatos might be able to clear him on exit, and indeed he will.
Yeah, that same move actually caused an accident. Lakatos on the inside down there in turn 1 caused an accident in Fuel on Tuesday, learned his lesson, and made a very clean, successful pass down there. He's up to 7th place. And Joshua Banks creeping into the picture as well in his number 36.
Yeah, the car looking has definitely seen some better days, although it hasn't entirely slowed down. The 36 still running pretty solid inside of the top 10.
Up against the wall through 1 and 2 onto the back straightaway, and Butler now with pressure from behind. That is Jeremiah Vincent, his number 8. We got some scrapes and bruises on the side of the car. And Yusuf Ghali up the road is side by side with Bowers out of turn 4, and they're all losing ground to Alec Martinez.
So you can see the gap right there between Martinez and then second, third, and fourth. These guys kind of bunching up on one another. It looks like Emerson's really falling off the cliff with his tires, or just the car in general. And now Bowers and Ghali trying to take advantage of that and make a pass.
Yeah, they were all about 3/10 slower than Martinez the last time through. One car that was quicker, though, Casey Lakatos back in 7th place. He was the fastest car on the racetrack last time through, so that's pretty cool to see. Lakatos slicing and dicing back there is actually running really quick times. But Mark Emerson, you mentioned it, looks like he's struggling right now.
Yeah, he's starting to hold these guys up too. So I'm curious if once Bowers and Ghali, especially Ghali, once they get past him, if they're able to make some more headway on Martinez, or if they'll continue to drop back and Martinez just breaks away from him.
But it's a 2-second lead now, another 2/10 lost that time. Off into turn 1, Bowers gets checked up behind the 22, and Ghali had to jump on the binders to avoid a collision.
And Ghali actually going to get a nice run here trying to get a nice run off of 4, but can't get it done. Bowers is going to use a draft to Emerson, and hasn't been able to make the pass work, though, or just make an attempt. So he's been kind of stuck in behind Emerson. You can see the gap's on 2.2 seconds.
Yeah, 3 Ford Mustangs all line astern out of turns 1 and 2. There's a lap car up in front of him. I think that's the 25 of Tim Downey Jr. And he's going to pull out of the way. And whoa, the 31 slipped big time. He's in the fence in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, I think through it. I think he's been braking a lot later than Emerson. I think that caught him off guard that time through. And that kind of put him in the wall.
Yeah, let's go back and take a quick look at this. And yeah, it's the same thing that happened, I think, with the 4. Is he got in the brake? Yeah, he got in the brakes and slid out from underneath and got into the wall and pancaked the fence. To head back up. Casey Lakatos now trying to put pressure on 6th place Jeremiah Vincent. But Mark Emerson now has Yusuf Ghali to deal with. So these Mustangs continue to duke and dive and battle for what will be 2nd place.
Yeah, I'm curious again seeing Ghali. Ghali's been definitely fast. He probably should have more wins than he does. You've seen him have quite a bit of pace, but never has really been able to seal the deal in that Ford. But we'll see if he can get past Emerson, and if he's the one that can be able to close the gap after Emerson falling off. Now almost 3 seconds behind.
Yeah, it's amazing how much of a lead that 18 has gotten. They're all dropping off in speed, but the rest quicker than the 18. Out of turn 4 now, continuing to battle for 2nd place. 103 laps to go, make it 102 as Martinez comes across the line. And this Yusuf Ghali machine looking really racy on the back of the 22.
Yeah, Ghali's been a lot more bolder on the passes, has been a lot more aggressive when it's come to it. You see him with the run on Emerson, going to use a side draft off the 22 to the inside. He goes in turn 3. Will Emerson let him on by or fight for it?
Right up against the wall. Emerson's going to just get back on the go pedal and just go right back around the Motorcraft 12.
Not entirely clear, though, by turn 1, although I don't think Ghali's going to have much to work with here.
Now, the 22 should be able to hold on to this, and he will. And here comes Brendan Bowers back into the fight. He's recuperated from his accident a couple laps ago and has a lot of speed. Might take a look at the 12 off into turn 3, maybe help him.
And Martinez is loving this, battling him behind him because the gaps is going to expand more and more as they continue to fight for position.
Yeah, the gap is now up to 3.6 seconds, and as long as this race goes green, I don't think Martinez is going to have a whole lot of people knocking on his door. So he's loving this right now as these guys all fight. You see right in the background that Lakatos has actually gotten by Jeremiah Vincent, put himself up into 6th. So Sim Motorsports is strong running both cars inside the top 10, inside the top 6 even, as Butler is the next victim on the list for the 50. But up the road again, Bowers trying to close in on the Ghali and Emerson fight. This is the closest one on the racetrack.
Yeah, I think if Ghali can set up here, as you see him almost put it in the wall, trying to get a better line. 2-4 on Emerson. You see him get a nice run, but yeah, just can't get past Emerson. Emerson's done a great job keeping him in behind.
Playing with the inches off that wall, 99 laps to go. And this racetrack is challenging. We've seen it take a pretty good chunk of cars out of the race, but we do have a lot of the damaged cars back out on the racetrack as Ghali dives into turn 3 to try to get past the 22. Emerson almost gets in the wall and almost solidifies that as the move to make, but drag racing down the front straight. Emerson's going to win this fight again as well.
Yeah, you can only imagine too the frustration in Golly, trying to get past Emerson to chase down Martinez, or at least have a shot at chasing him down, and they're just losing more and more time as they run side by side like this.
The night has fallen, and for Martinez, he is driving away. Behind them, they're locked into battle. Emerson and Golly off into one. Maybe Golly is losing some patience here. Ooh, he bounces off the wall, dives to the inside now.
That actually kind of helped him out a bit, give him a better line through the corner, but it's going to be a drag race down the front straightaway for both of them. I think Golly's, this is the best shot he's got at getting second, but no, can't get it done. He backs out of it.
Increasingly frustrating, and Bowers now trying to look to the outside of the 12. So Golly's got to be losing his patience. You saw him try to lean on the bumper, but we've seen, do bumper runs really work at Darlington? If you do them right, I don't know if you can do them right at 140 miles an hour.
Oh.
Whoa, the 12 car hard in the fence.
I think he's just using the wall at the corner at this point, just trying to get some sort of run on the 22, but it's really come to no success here.
I might think at Bristol that would be, advantageous to the point of cheating, but I don't think you're doing yourself any good here by pounding the wall. We've seen, one little hit turns into 5 or 6 little hits, and you see the damage on that 12 car is getting worse. Almost a 5-second lead. Alex Bell hits pit lane in the 15 in the background, so pit stops beginning as we get closer and closer to 50 laps in the run. 42 completed by the leaders on this green flag run. 3-car battle for second.
Yeah, I expect to see him coming at around this point in time, because I think they're going to probably try to cut this up into nice 42 lap stints, 43 lap stints.
Emerson struggling with the handling of this 22 car. He's got Golly breathing down his neck. But I think maybe with some fresh tires, maybe a bit of damage repair, he might be competitive enough to compete. Brandon Bowers pulls down to the pit lane here. I think for now we're going to switch back to the normal theme here, and we'll switch back for a little later in the broadcast. But when we cover the pit stops, I want to have the correct graphics to show me what's going on, so I'm going to do that now. So Bowers down on the pit lane. Martinez leads the way, and Golly continues to fight Emerson. And here he's going to peel off and try to beat the 22 to pit lane, and he's going to... Emerson can't respond. I think Golly's going to get this spot.
Yeah, that's a good move. If you can't pass him on the track, try to pass him in the pits, and he's going to do exactly that as he gets slowed down for pit road.
Mercadis has gotten by Butler. This 50 car is looking really, really strong right now, Finian. So keep an eye on Mercadis. Up front, though, it's Martinez. I would just, if I was him, I would probably just stay out as long as I can and have fresher tires for the end of the race here, wouldn't you? Or would you want to split this up into equal segments?
I would say try to make it as equal as you can. Stay out, and also while staying out as long as you can, just to hitting your mark. Because obviously he's gaining on these guys, but he doesn't want to stay out too long to the point where they're going to be eating him up on the fresher rubber.
So Golly hits pit lane, and he's still there at the moment, waiting for others to respond. And Golly leaves the pit box, a 14.2 second stop for the 12. And who's the next person to hit pit lane? Emerson 6.3 back.
I'm surprised Emerson doesn't come out this time through, but here comes Jesse Pierce in the 17. Also is going to bring on down Elliot Butler in behind him.
Yeah, Butler. I think it's advantageous to follow somebody to pit road because you can push the envelope just like that and get yourself into position.
Almost pushed it into the wall. That was really close, but is going to keep off those pit barrels.
And he gained time. That's the important thing there. Joshua Banks, Jeremiah Vincent. This is a battle for 4th place at the moment. And waiting for more to hit the pit lane. So we have about, let's see here, 90 laps to go. So it's going to be a 2-stopper from here, about 45 lap segments. And I think that maybe that's what Martinez is going to try to do here, is break it down into even segments and maybe come on down here shortly. So Butler, Pierce, and others to pit lane. And Martinez hits pit lane right here. So I think he's going to do that, split into even 45 lap segments to maximize the life of the tires.
Yeah, look at that. Great pit road entry, keeping it right to the inside wall.
Ooh, push the speed on entry there a little bit.
Yeah, that's something. Remember, we did see him. He actually took a while to slow down. Almost as lagging on us, but
Is it 45 or 55?
it's 45. And
oh boy,
he took. That's what I'm saying. He took
I'd
a
be
long time.
amazed if he didn't get a penalty there.
We did see something similar at fuel, so I'm thinking that might be a little bit behind on us. So that's what I'm going to go with. But hopefully he doesn't throw it away, because we saw him in the Fuel Cup Series. He threw it away at Vegas.
No,
Oh,
that
no,
was
that was here.
Outsiders last
Yeah.
season. So he's into his pit box. We're going to keep an eye on the 18, but up front, it's Mark Emerson. Casey Lakatos is making up a ton of time right now. He's got a little bit fresher tires than some of the cars around him, which has helped this, but he's climbing up the order, and it might be a Sim Motorsports 1-2 here after the pit stops.
If I was a Cottas, I'd honestly just get a draft on Emerson and come down onto the pits. Yeah, it'll be much harder to try to make a pass here. It might continue out just to run out this tank, and indeed he will.
18's back on the racetrack, so...
And there's Brandon Bowers, more importantly, on the outside, so Bowers is going to get the spot for now.
Yeah, but the problem is Bowers already has a bunch of laps on his tires, 5 laps. That's a pretty big difference. He's going to hold the lead for now, but Martinez is going to track him down and stretch that lead very quickly. Angelo Ronis heads to pit lane. Up front, Emerson and Lakatos fighting for the lead. And it was only 8 cars on the lead lap, so they're all praying for no caution right now. These guys aren't praying for a caution up front.
Yeah,
guys that have already pitted or not.
Yeah, I think that's what I think they're figuring is their best chance at, the long run of this race, especially Emerson. But as they come out of turn 4, Lakatos is going to have a fantastic run to the inside of Mark Emerson. Can he get it done in turn 1? Emerson's going to let him. And Casey Lakatos will take the lead in this race.
Wow. Casey Lakatos out front. A strong run for the 50 so far tonight. Strong run by several others in the field as well. But the 18 has already gotten by Brandon Bowers and is putting a gap on him already. So that's just the difference in tire strategy we're going to see. And you see him, I think there's some net code involved with the wall collisions there, so he'll stay clean and green. Not a scratch on this 18 car just yet. Some slower cars he's got to navigate around, and you got to be really careful if someone comes to pit lane, you don't run into him. We saw that last year in the Southern 500. So Martinez is on through. Emerson hits pit lane, and I think Trejo is going to follow him down in the 21.
Whoa. Emerson's car is weaving around. Do you see that?
Is he out of fuel?
Oh,
he's out of fuel. Trying to push it a little too far, stuttering. Is he going to make it to his pit box, Finian?
No, he's not.
Threw the race away, did the 22.
That's unfortunate because this season's been looking a lot better for him than last. But yeah, he's going to have to get towed back to the pits.
Yeah, he had a chance to beat Alec Martinez. So Alec, when he finds out that, he's going to be smiling under that helmet. That tiny little helmet. He's going to have a wicked evil grin on his face because right now he's got a commanding lead of this race, and it's not going to change unless we get a yellow.
I think really, I was just about to say, I think the one thing that would change, the only thing that can really take him out of the lead is if he makes a mistake or if we get a yellow. Because on track, he's definitely doing much better. He's going to potentially get a 5, 6, 7 second lead over the next car.
Sim Motorsports right now really going to be in good position here. Let's just see where Casey shuffles out and all this because he's really stretching.
He's going to get put way behind everyone else, I think, when it comes down to it. I think he's coming to pit.
Yeah, he's going to hit pit lane right here. So the question is, he's probably going to stretch these tires out a little bit longer in the last run and hope for a yellow. I think that's the strategy he's going to go for. Eli Hinton has also hit pit lane in his number 13. There is, I think that is the 80. Nope, not the 83. Who is that in that? No, it was in front of him. I couldn't see who it was. There was a car with an 8 at the end of it. Didn't see. It was William Troy in the 87. Back out on the racetrack. Good looking scheme on that car as well. So Lakatos is in, and Jeremiah Vincent is in. He's the last car to come to pit lane. Fast entry there. But Martinez is going to retake the lead, and his lead already 2 seconds over Brandon Bowers. Golly's 2 seconds behind that. And I believe Golly hit pit lane before the 18 did. Yes, he did. So really, Martinez is going to stretch his lead out. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 10 to 12 second lead at the end of this run.
Definitely shaping up to it because Martinez, we've seen him just get kind of better as the run goes on. Contrast to the Fuel Cup Series. So really looking better off. And actually, Jeremiah Vincent's now just come down, so we should be almost completely cycled out.
Absolutely. I think now's a good time for a Sim TV sound surge. Let's listen to the sounds at Darlington Raceway. Past halfway here at Darlington Raceway for the second round of the Outsider Racing League Championship. Alec Martinez leads the way. There's some duking and diving and slicing and dicing in the middle of the field right now. There's Elliott Butler in fifth in the number 6 car. Just got around Alex Bell. But out front, it's all Alec Martinez, Finney. And take a look at this. Led 70 of the 85 laps tonight. Leading by 6 seconds and growing. It's going to be hard to beat this kid tonight.
Yeah, and once 10 laps time, he's going to get easily get the points for leading at leading the most laps. And he's just done a phenomenal job this race. Again, it's going to take a lot to pry this race out of his hands. He's got a 6-second lead over Brandon Bowers in second place.
Yeah, Brandon Bowers in the 31. How about this? This has been a very strong run to a driver that's relatively new to the series. Ran a limited schedule last year. But you see him get into the fence. He's been in the wall a couple times tonight, but still running in second place right now. He started 5th, a good, strong night for him.
Rolling on back to Yusuf Ghali. Thought he would have a little better luck, just kind of making some passes. Got stuck behind Mark Emerson. That really messed him up. Just time in the time department behind Martinez, he's 8.5 seconds behind him and 2 seconds behind Bowers. So it's not looking like he might be able to win the race, but definitely will still get a very solid top 30.
Jesse Pierce in the 17. This is one of my favorite paint schemes out here tonight. That Darrell Waltrip throwback and Mountain Dew car started 17, gained 13 spots en route to his 4th place running right now, and got a right front fender that's a little crinkled, but so does everybody else other than that. But a very calm, clean night for the 17.
And back to the 6th, Elliott Butler was doing pretty decent earlier on, fell back in the run as far as tires. His tires kind of fell off a cliff and was dropping back, but still having a nice solid top 5 and is looking a lot better than he did earlier on in the race.
Alex Bell ended up finishing the season last season with a couple wins under his belt and looking really strong early this year as well. Started 13th, up 7 spots. Nope. Why is that not working? Yes, it is working. Oh, that's a high. I was comparing that with Jesse Pierce. I was like, he's not 4th right now. No, his highest position he's run is 4th. Right now, he is currently scored in 6th place. He's led no laps so far. I expect that maybe to change. Joshua Banks in the 36. He was wrecked out early. He's gained 5 spots from his 12th place starting position. He sits 7th right now. We talked about Casey Lakatos earlier, and he's right there along with the 36, giving him a shove off into turn 3.
Yeah, and you're going to give him a bit of shove, push him out of the line, although Lakatos has been struggling just a bit in behind the 36 as far as just getting the runs. It's been a really hard thing to do. Definitely passing has come at a premium tonight for these guys.
Eli Hinton back in 9th place as well. Hasn't been a phenomenal night for the 13. I feel like he was stronger at the trickier racetracks last year. It doesn't really look like he's got quite the grasp on the handling tonight, but we do expect that 13 car, last season's champion, to rake in multiple victories this season and be a serious title threat. So far this season hasn't really been up there. Ran pretty well at Daytona last week, but that's a crapshoot. So far, 9th place tonight. Pretty clean car, just needs some track position.
Yeah, we're going to see he's really, especially after getting involved on a record, he's doing a pretty solid job. Won't be a phenomenal night, I think, with a 13, but still a decent points grab inside the top 10.
Clifton Cockrell and Jeremiah Vincent fighting for 10th place. And Vincent has a pretty good run here on the inside. This is a scary place to pass there on a turn 4, or turn 2 rather. Dives to the inside and off into 3. He's got to clear that 16, and looks like he will.
Yeah, I'm amazed that Cockrell didn't hit the wall there out of 2. Got mighty close to it. And we'll keep it just off to maintain 11th.
So let's go through the cars that were out again, because we haven't gone over that in a while. So cars that are officially retired from the race. Josiah Vincent is done. He is 19 laps down, make that 20 in 24th. And it's Bill Austin Carpe, Thomas Morris, Bruce Boyer, Christopher, Chuck Sweeting, Andrew Tuganoff, David Mott Jr. David Mott Jr. never took the green, so it was just all the way down to Tuganoff in 31st. Cars that are out and done for the night. Martinez, his lead is 7.3 seconds here, Finney, and last time through, though, Yusuf Ghali actually ran a little quicker than that. So I'm curious to see over the course of this long run how the lap times will change and switch.
Yeah, it also is a bit hard to tell with these guys as far as the lap times are concerned, because they're also working through lap traffic, trying to get on by. So last time through was a bit slower than Martinez, and actually only just a little bit faster than Bowers. So that's been making a whole lot of time up. And 2, he's also got to worry about that 17. Jesse Pierce has been starting to close up.
Yeah, Jesse Pierce, again, a strong run here early in the season for the 17, new to the series, and has just been a very friendly guy to be around. And it's been really cool to see his interaction with not only the YouTube side of things, but also the Twitter side of things. So Jesse Pierce, good addition to the overall crew. And sits 4th right now inside the top 5 in his Chevrolet Camaro. Pretty nice split of cars out there right now. Ooh, he gets into the fence, does Jesse Pierce. 2 Camrys, a bunch of Camaros, and 4 Fords inside the top 15. As we roll towards about 65 laps to go. So it's a one-stopper from here. Do you think anybody will run this like a road course and pit as soon as they can make it to the end and try to run a long race, or you think everyone's going to wait till the end?
I think if anything, you're going to wait longer to pit. You're not going to want to be out there towards the end of this race on really old tires where you can't really do much. So I think a lot of guys will try to either even out the stint as much as they can or just pit later and overcut and hope for a caution as well.
Alec Martinez has officially clinched the most laps led tonight. 81 laps led. That puts it past halfway, so no one else can lead more laps than him here this evening. Wrong run. Here's a look at our race information. 3 cautions, a total of 7 laps of caution flag. 9 lead changes here at Darlington. Pretty good number here, considering Darlington's not usually a place where passing happens all that much. Brandon Gagnon hits pit lane here, Finian. He can't make it to the end from here.
Yeah, he's off schedule. He's going to have to come in another time. Besides this, he's going to put him back another lap down in that 83.
Yeah,
so.
really not great planned out this race. I think he pit a little early last time. All he needed to go was do another 10 laps in the last run. He would have been able to make it to the end here, but not so for the 83. Yusuf Ghali in this 12 car. Maybe a driver that we thought would be more competitive with the 18 car night. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought he would be too, but just really struggled with Mark Emerson and even Bowers too, and just I think got held up. And we saw he was very aggressive in behind those guys. I think might have burned up his tires, and then by the time he didn't even get completely clear of them, just got put in behind on traffic. And I think this has been lacking in the pace. He might have just also turned it down a little bit to make sure he doesn't get into the wall. So. But yeah, I think I probably expected a little bit more. Ooh, as I say that, he hits the wall hard out of turn 1.
There's a whole lot of damage to that car, so he'll continue. The battle for second is actually tightening up just a little bit. There's Bowers. Let's go from the top camera here. There's Bowers, Ghali a couple seconds behind him. Jesse Pierce closing in on Ghali, and Elliott Butler is not too far behind. I'm also watching the battle for 6th place because right behind Alex Bell is that 50 Lakatos, and he's on much fresher tires than most of the guys in front of him.
So Lakatos looking like he could definitely get up into 6th. You see Adam Cabot.
It's his engine.
You can see his engines, his radiators, you see everything of the inside of that car. Is definitely not having a night he would have hoped for. Looking to be one of the fastest guys out there, but now running back in 15th.
Cabot probably could have won Daytona last week as well. Things didn't quite go his way. Here comes the 50 of Casey Lakatos down to the inside of Alex Bell. You might have to back out of this pass here. I don't think it's going to work too great. And drag race down the front straight. Bell will win it for now. 60 laps to go here at Darlington Raceway. We started off with a couple big wrecks that took out some of the really good cars in this race and has turned over the lead to Alec Martinez, who has a 9.3 second lead. And here comes Lakatos, the other Sim Motorsports driver, inside the top 10, moves his way up into 6th place.
And gonna clear him.
There's always a pre-race poll that's done to see who's going to walk away with certain metrics from the race weekend, and everyone voted that Sim Motorsports would walk out of here keeping the lead that they earned in Daytona in the owners' points. And right now that looks to be the case. Martinez and Casey both finished inside the top 6 or 7 at Daytona. I think we're going to see that again potentially here tonight. They're looking really, really strong.
Yeah, Lakatos too just playing a really good strategy and also just getting out of those, not getting involved in those incidents really helped them propel up through the field and has done a solid job earning some points.
Ooh, I see a car lurking. This is a battle right now for 7th with Alex Bell and Joshua Banks. And as these two fight, I'm just keeping an eye in the background because I see another car approaching it. And it is the Silver Fox, I guess the Blue Fox tonight. Eli Hinton in that number 13 car. Up the road, there is the 15 and 36 continuing to fight.
And I was going to say, I'm actually surprised they're even fighting in the first place. But there you see Bell let Banks on by on the straightaway. So Banks is easily going to get 7th place from his teammate. And that puts Alex Bell in danger of getting passed by Eli Hinton, who's been closing up in behind.
Hinton, we talked a little bit earlier about Hinton, how not off to a spectacular start this season, but it has been top 10s that he's been. I mean, I know we're only 2 races in the season, but he's been around the top 10. And this is how he started off slow last season as well and really got hot towards the end. So I think we'll see something similar this time around with the 13. And Alex Bell is going to probably hit pit lane, probably hit his magic number to make it to the end. Ooh, late dive onto the pit lane. he'll make it there. 56 laps, that's a long way to go.
Yeah, it's stretching it a bit, but yeah, I think within the realm of possibilities, we'll see. I think that 15 feels that he can make it, but
Sorry.
might be able to.
One button. No yellow flag, we stay green. So Bell, the first of our front runners to hit pit lane. Brandon Bowers sits second right now. Gali, a couple seconds behind that, but it's all happening 10 seconds behind this guy. He's put everyone up to 11th place a lap down, and even Angelo Ronas is just a couple seconds up the road here. So Martinez really has had a ton of pace tonight. That grid life on the hood of that car. Grid life is actually out in Road America this weekend. And we want to wish our good wishes to Will I Young, because he crashed his car, his time attack car, at 160 miles an hour.
Yeah, that thing is almost junk. A lot of it needs a lot of repairs to that car. So
I don't even know if it'll be safe enough to repair it to a repairable state. Basically, the entire front clip was ripped off, and Will walked away with just minor bruises. But anytime you wreck at Road America, it's a big wreck.
Yeah, could have been worse. Could have been the guy who crashed in F3. Went flying into that, flying 50 feet in the air.
Yeah, sausage curbs on the outside of a high-speed corner. Not a great idea.
I'm surprised that they didn't have. I think what they actually did say that they took them out after that thing for the rest of the weekend. But I'm surprised they didn't just put like a sausage curb around the track so that way you don't
ramp up onto it. Yeah, I thought the same thing because Austria has that where they just
it straddles the outside. Yeah,
right. And so it provides a deterrent without acting as a launch pad for a race car. I was amazed. Everyone was. I'm joking here a little bit, but I was laughing at everyone. Oh, the halo saved him. I was like, yeah. And also the curb that the FIA put there almost killed the guy. So it's catch-22 there. But either way, good to see him. I don't know if he walked away. He's got a fractured vertebrae.
He walked away. He did walk to the medical car, surprisingly, but I think that was probably also some adrenaline helping him up there. But could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, following the Formula 2 crash at Belgium last week, I think everyone's a little sensitive to the Formula car accidents, and I think that was a scary one to watch today at Monza. Anyway, battle for the lead lap. Clifton Cockrell and Angelo Ronas, they're going to start fighting because look who's behind them. That is your leader, Martinez, and these guys are going to start getting real racing.
And here's what Ronas can do. This will be big for him breaking back inside the top 10 with that damage of a car. The America Online. I have to throw back to AOL.
Oh, that's what that stands for? I never knew what it stood for. I'm sorry. I didn't use AOL. I wasn't a loser. I don't know. I use Internet Explorer like everybody else. No, that's a browser, not even a... Shut up. Don't judge me. Whatever. It's fine. I didn't use computers till I was... Whatever. You're fired.
Yeah, so Andrew Ronas in the AOL machine's going to get by Cockrell and get inside the top 10.
I told you I'm too young for this thing. Oh, gosh. I'm going to get roasted for that one later. I deserve to get roasted for that one. Brandon Bowers from second place on to pit road, and Martinez tracking those two guys down up ahead of them. Some damage to the right front of that car. Was that there a little while ago? Ooh, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think that was.
Ooh, that's a big hit for the 18. Let's go back and see if we can track down where that was. My guess is out of turn 2.
I think,
A couple laps ago. See? Well, he had it for a couple laps. Trying to find where this happened. Oh, it's probably down here in 1 and 2 this time. Some pretty heavy damage for the 18. And it has slowed his pace significantly. He's got a 12.5-second lead, but we still have 48 laps to go.
Oh, I think it was in turn 3 then.
Yeah. Here's a look. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that was a pretty big hit there.
Although actually, lap time-wise, last time through is not too terribly bad. Actually,
yeah, he's slowed way up on his pace. Jesse Pierce has worked his way into second place. There's a couple of guys that peeled off for pit road. Lakatos is up to 4th place with all this action going on. And waiting for our leaders to make that move to pit lane.
here's how long a lot of you guys are going to stay out. Looking at Bowers, he's back in 13th. We'll see where he cycles out through all this. He's driving second place.
So 47 laps to go. 45 would be when we expect the 18 to hit pit lane if he stays on his strategy. Does hitting the wall adjust that strategy at all? His lead is dwindling. It's down to 12 seconds.
Yeah, honestly, I would come in probably as soon as you can, considering the damage to his car. Just to not necessarily fix it, obviously, but get some fresh
he's got
tires.
time to fix them. Would you fix it?
I don't think it's worth it. I think with that damage, you know, you might as well just stay out there with the gap you have and just run really solid laps. Just make sure you don't hit the wall again.
Fair enough.
But
here's some lap traffic. This is Cockrell and Angelo Ronas. Puts Cockrell a lap down, sets his sights on 8th place, Angelo Ronas. AOL car. Elliott Butler hits pit lane in his number 6. Brian Chambliss follows him on through. Zach Halpern is also down. So some of our other leaders. Lakatos is going to stay out till the end of time probably. He'll stay out as long as he physically can because that's what he's been doing. Jesse Pierce, he's going to hit pit lane. Look at how far down to the inside of the racetrack he is.
Yeah, and I've noticed a lot of guys doing this as well. I think it's just better to get to the inside as soon as you can. That way you don't have the chance of overshooting pit road.
So Pierce is in from 2nd place. And Lakatos is now going to take over 2nd. And we're expecting this 18 car in, and he is in, and that was a very high-speed entry. He finally made it into pit lane, and Jesse Pierce is right up there. So it shows you how big of a lead that really was. And where is Casey Lakatos? He is in 3 and 4 right now, on in the front straight. 43 laps to go. Lakatos is going to lead another lap here.
Running about at the pace of Joshua Banks. They've both been kind of following each other throughout this entire run, for the most part. We'll see if Banks maybe has enough to get past Lakatos, but it looks like that 50 is pretty strong and potentially for a top 5 here. As you see, look, Martinez getting service to his car.
And he's probably going to peel out right as soon as he gets the jack drops on this 18. He's off and away, and you see, look at the ground he gained on Jesse Pierce. Did Pierce get any sort of penalty? Ooh, yes.
I was going to say, because he should have come out way before that.
Yeah, that was a speeding penalty, I believe, for the 17 car.
Yeah, that's really going to be unfortunate. We're set to have a very, very solid finish.
Well, that's broken. I'll fix that later. But penalty for the 17, as he is going to lose a lot of positions, and that's a real shame because he was running very well. Look at the 31 of Brandon Bowers trying to get back by the 50. That is for the lead lap, and he will unlap himself. Whoa!
And he's going to do the same, and a car got into
that was
the wall there.
Joshua Banks in the 36.
Whoa.
Whoa, that got tight, and I think the 50 car is getting run over right now with 40 laps to go. Everyone's scrambling, trying to find space, and I think the 50 is going to take that as maybe a note to hit pit lane. No, he's going to stay out again. So really committing to this strategy. Is he staying out too long, though, is my question.
I think he actually was trying to come in there, but realized he was too late on the entry. He was going to continue on out. Yeah, I think if he comes in now, he'll be good. I don't think he's hanging out much longer than this.
And you know, to pull an overcut, you got to have enough laps left in the race to actually gain your spots back. We also have to have a big enough difference in tires to actually do anything with them. So here comes the 50 this time. Conservative entry here. Very conservative entry. He'll come on to pit lane for his final stop of the night. Eli Hinton is going to take over 2nd place. Joshua Banks is your leader. That is the difference. Half a second between them. Less than 40 laps to go. About 20 minutes worth of racing to go to the end on green.
Yeah, he's just kind of hoping for a caution at this point in the running, although I don't think we will because we've gone green for about 100 laps at this point, so or next to 100 laps. So I'm pretty sure we're going to continue on that trajectory unless someone really makes a mistake either on pit road or somewhere else on the track.
Yusuf Dali, Alec Martinez, they just traded spots. Ooh, that got a little dicey. What happened there? They were about to trade spots. And that's Mark Emerson. Oh, Mark Emerson's back out on the racetrack here, so it looks like whatever issue he had, he's a lap down. So I guess he just reset to get fuel in the car, and I didn't see him come back out on the racetrack, but he did. Ooh, that was really dicey there. The 18 trying to get around the 22. Managed to do it. I don't think it's going to end up making a huge difference in the long run here, though.
Yeah, he has a bit of time to play with, especially too, so it shouldn't really force the issue if he doesn't have to.
Eddie Trejo on and off pit lane. Joshua Banks from the lead. He's going to come down pit road. That means that Eli Hinton should be coming relatively soon, as well as Jeremiah Vincent, and that would pretty much cycle us out. But interesting to note that Gali and Bowers got around Martinez, so that was all for position there.
Yeah, well, granted, Martinez has 6 to 7 laps fresher tires, and you can see the amount of work he works the inside of Gali.
This is the most dangerous part of this run for the 18 car, though. Don't get yourself in a wreck. You have a tire advantage. Don't throw it away right here.
The best thing for him to do is just play this a little bit patient and not overdrive the car. But they see him work to the inside. You can see how much more grip he has to work with. Easily going to blow on by Gali, but can't even get Bowers to before turn 1.
Oh, he's going to have to drive in deep side by side. Not going to really work great through here, but he does. He clears him. Martinez back up in a second. A great move to the inside. And look at Gali and Bowers. No! Gali almost gets turned off the quarter panel over 31. He saves it and will continue. A great save there by the 12. He's going to have to back it down and just collect his thoughts after that one.
Yeah, that was very close to being a disaster for that 12. Gali's been having a fantastic run so far. And just met with Bowers off the corner because that's a very tough part of the track because that 2 lanes barely that are there are merged into 1 off the corner.
Watch this.
And see Gali just coming up near the exit of the corner, gets sideways. It's a great job saving.
Holy cow. Woo! We'll continue and stay green. And Jeremiah Vincent going to hit pit lane from the lead. That's going to turn the lead back over to the top spot. So Martinez leads the way over Brandon Bowers, Yusuf Gali, and it will be Alex Bell in 4th place. And it's been a long green flag run, and Martinez's lead again is just going to grow and grow and grow to the end of the race. It's going to be really hard for anything to change unless we get a yellow.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing he hopes doesn't happen at this point. He's done everything to perfection up until this point. He just needs to hope that that caution comes out. And it doesn't come out. And even if it does, too, I think he's got enough pace to pretty much keep himself up in the top spot. Maybe Bowers or Gali might have something to say about it.
Yeah, again, a lot of the strong cars, the 22 of Mark Emerson. That was a car that could have won the race, and running himself out of fuel wasn't a great way or race strategy to do well for the 22. So he's down. Ooh, we see the 12 car getting the fence again. The 22 is scored in 18th right now, 2 laps down. As Alex Bell and Elliott Butler are going to be fighting here for 4th here shortly.
Ooh, Bell just taps the wall a little bit. That's going to give Butler a little bit of a better run, but not quite.
On the front straightaway now, about 30 laps to go in a minute here. And the lead still growing, but for Bowers, he's actually getting chased down by the 12 of Gali, so this fight is going to reignite here shortly.
He's trying to get himself up in the 2nd place. He's been struggling to get that 2nd spot. First from Mark Emerson, and now Brandon Bowers, who's pretty much been stuck in there for most of this race.
Now, I want to cut back here real quick because Butler did get by Bell. They traded spots. How about Jeff Wright? He is a trooper running out here 20th, 3 laps down with a car that looks like that. He's just actually thinking about the long points game, huh?
Yeah, he's actually 1 second behind Tim Downey Jr. and 19th. They're both 3 laps down. There you see the gap. That's the actual gap between them. Both those cars looking like they're 3 laps down with almost identical damage to them.
Yeah, let's go back up to that battle for a second because it is one of the closest ones on the racetrack at the moment. 2 Mustangs in lockstep here with 30 laps to go. No one has anything for Martinez unless there's a yellow. So now you're just fighting for the consolation prize at this point. How hard do you race a guy for 2nd, Finian? Are you willing to lay a bumper to him, or is that just something you do for the win?
I mean, at this point, no. I would say probably maybe 25 laps down the line. I'd say maybe might be a little bit bumper, but I would imagine he's got a lot of time to work with to get around for 2nd. He's obviously not going to get first at this point, chasing down Martinez, so I think best is to just focus on trying to get the 2nd place away as soon as you can.
There is your leader. There's 2nd and 3rd.
And if you want to wait on this for quite a while. That was your day?
It's been pretty good.
And there's Butler.
Went to the Binghamton Zoo today, actually. Saw some cougars and red pandas, whatever they call those things. Cool. It's been a good experience. But you know who's a real animal right now? Alec Martinez. 5.5 seconds up the road.
He's actually about to put 7th and 8th place down if you want to cut to them. Joshua Banks and Hinton, they're both heading up into turn 1 now. So he's got a shot at putting everyone but the top 6 a lap down in this race.
Eli Hinton has had a pretty mediocre night. Started in 9th, he's running 8th. So hasn't really been able to climb up a whole lot. You see some sparks flying off potentially the 36 car of Joshua Banks. He's had an up and down night all over the place.
He's sideways off of turn number 4. And he's going to try to keep that 13 in behind him. This is one of the closer battles on the track, other than the battle for second, which is still not change hands.
Not gonna last very long here though, because Eli Hinton was 3/10 quicker than Banks the last time through. 25 laps to go, and Joshua Banks, Eli Hinton fighting hard for 7th place, but it's all 24 seconds behind leader Alec Martinez. Well, this has not been a nail biter tonight.
No.
This is well and truly just an absolute spanking by the 18 of Martinez. He's absolutely crushed everybody tonight. I don't think we're going to expect to see maybe a yellow. I think we've been going green for about 110 laps. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot different.
I can see a yellow either coming from this battle, as he's almost get side by side, or the battle for second, potentially causing a yellow. But other than that, yeah, I don't really see much of a chance of a yellow at this point.
So, working our way towards the end of the race. Let's go back to that battle for second. It hasn't really heated up. It's been kind of staying stagnant here.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's just Golly waiting, just biding his time here, or if he's just really not able to.
This is a battle for position 14. Cabot and Chamel, so it really wasn't much of a battle as Cabot kind of passed him and went on his day.
And this is really why Alec is able to dominate this race, is just due to the 77 having problems getting caught up in wrecks. And, you know, I guess you can trace it back to... We can't really trace it back to really anything. Just unfortunate luck, really, for the 77. Had a dominant car. Maybe slightly better than Martinez, too, but just the wrecks have taken him out of this.
Yeah, it's been kind of a, you know, the wrecks that happened earlier, not
numerous.
Not numerous, but severe is how we'll say that. And it's really been not awesome from that perspective there. So, unfortunately...
Here's a three-way battle for position.
Yeah, that's Alex Bell, Joshua Banks, and Eli Hinton. This is all for position. And Bell will let them on by.
Yeah, Bell's struggling at this point. Oh, I actually remember he was one of the first guys to come down on the pit road. He came in with 56 laps to go. He's going to have to go the longest of anyone on this run on tires, so I imagine he's not having a whole lot of fun there. Ooh, he's going to hit the wall again.
Closing in on 20 laps to go. Whoa, car in the fence. Alex Bell got in the wall pretty hard again. So, again, that vehicle continues to receive damage. Banks and Hinton, though, they continue their fight. Now it's for 6th.
You see Hinton getting a nice run off of turn 2, but I think he's been trying to set up that pass into 1. I've really seen a lot more guys be successful, but just hasn't been able to get the move done. This is again where you wonder how much patience does the guy have in behind you.
20 laps to go for the leaders. Martinez, 7.6 out in front of Bowers and Golly. Casey Lakatos, his teammate, sits 5th right now. He's closing in on Butler quick enough to take away 4th place before the end of the race, so we'll keep an eye on that battle. Right now, this is a battle for 6th and 7th, Banks and Hinton. And they're going to be fighting for lead lap position here pretty shortly.
Barely a lead lap position as they're both in danger going a lap down. They've kind of gotten out of that danger zone. Bell's falling more into that.
Bell's really struggling right now. I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure if that extra damage is...
He came in earlier, significantly earlier than everyone else by about 10 laps or so.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he did.
So he's really struggling on the older tires just to go 20 more laps on them.
So the only people near the front that have fresher tires than Martinez are really Lakatos, Banks, and Hinton. And Banks and Hinton are well behind in terms of track.
Whoa! Hinton left some tire marks and some smoke.
Yeah, he's got some big right front damage as well. So that 13 car looking very, very hurt. What happened to the 13? Oh, this was a collision with P in the 36. Off into turn 3. Was there a contact that led to this? Oh, yes, there was.
Ooh.
And Hinton did a great job kind of dirt tracking it, saving the car again.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of boring. I'm kind of interesting. That was...
It wasn't in the throttle, but...
Yeah, I think that was just kind of a miscalculation there.
Yeah, I don't... think that. I mean, he could have been trying to rough him up, but it definitely backfired. So I don't think he was trying to get in there to wreck him.
No, I don't think it was, because that's not really where you would, part of the corner where you would do that if you're going to. So I think.
Let's look at it in a different angle here and a little closer here. And just he's going to go in there right to the quarter panel and just nudge the 36. And 36 gets in the wall and he bounces back off and hits the 13 back onto the racetrack. So certainly, I don't think that was intended by the 13.
Yeah, I think he just miscalculated how slow the 36 was going in the middle of the corner by just a hair, and was enough to send damage to both of them. Yeah,
Look at his hands.
he did a fantastic job saving this. So it's effectively going to take him out. He's actually not too far back behind Bank. Maybe you can make it up here.
16 laps to go for the leader. Make it 15 here as Martinez comes across the line. A 9-second lead and for second place. Look at the 31 and 12.
As just close back up again, closer than it's really ever been. And
no, behind him! Big crash for somebody. I think that's the 30 of Miller. He's in the wall. Do we stay green?
Oh boy.
We do.
Wow, he gets off the track. I think Martinez's heart stopped there.
Oh man, I don't know if he knew about it or not, but no, I didn't mean to do that in slow motion. Let's get a better look at this here. But yeah, the 30 of Miller, and was that Sproul in the 19? Oh, yeah, big hit there. And good job getting off the racetrack and clearing the way, but for Miller, it will not be another victory, and certainly not even a top 10 after that impact. Bowers, Golly, these guys are probably sick of looking at each other, and I'm sure Bowers is sick of looking in the mirror, and Golly's sick of looking out the windshield.
Yeah, I'm sure Golly's, or at least Bowers is in second place. I'm sure Golly's just kind of sick of being stuck in third. He's been for quite a night with different Fords being in front of him, and he's been struggling to get by the 31.
13 laps to go. These guys running into the wall trying to catch each other. Golly is driving so hard to try to get this spot.
Yeah, they got a lot to play with. They got 9 seconds to the next car behind them, so they don't have to worry about someone else coming up behind.
Well, you know who doesn't have 9 seconds is Elliott Butler. He's getting just run down by Casey Lakatos, who's got really fresh tires in comparison. It's just been a good night for the Sim Motorsports group. Lakatos he's running really well this season already. The race strategy is really working out in favor of the 50. This is the strategy he played all last season, was these long runs coming in on their pit stops, leading laps just to point his way in, but he was never running inside the top 10, the top 5 this high. So it's really seemed like the performance of the 50 team has really escalated, and it's very, very cool to see. Meanwhile, for second, we keep going back to this battle, but it is the closest one on the racetrack. If you leave this one as the exception, that's Jesse Pierce and Jeremiah Vincent. It is for 9th.
Yeah, Vincent actually with a very solid run off the corner trying to get Pierce. Not gonna do it this time, though. He's gonna stay in behind him. Oh, gets into him actually a little bit. Sends our 17 sideways.
A little bit of a slide. Here comes the 8 to the inside of the turn 2. Drag race down the back straight.
This is a very fitting battle between both those paint schemes.
Sure is. Ooh, Pierce slips on entry. I think Jeremiah's going to try to get it, but he's not going to be able to gas it up. And Pierce is going to try to full throttle on corner exit. Do they leave each other room? They do. Vincent gets the spot.
See, Pierce is going to try to get by him and give him a little bit of a bump. But he's going to look to the inside. It looks like Vince is going to be able to pull away from this.
Still a decent run for Pierce. Remember, he had a penalty on pit lane. He's still inside the top 10, so it should be a pretty good points night for him, all things considered. These guys are just absolutely dead even. I'd love to see the 12 car out in front of the 31 to see if they're really this even or if the 31's just holding up the 12.
It's kind of hard to say. I honestly say that they're both fairly even. Maybe Golly a little bit better, but hasn't been faster enough to make a pass. He's really just been stuck in behind this 31 for the last 50, 60 laps.
So we've been going green for about 130 laps since our precautions that happened kind of 1, 2, 3 early in the going. It's been all Alec Martinez out in front. He's led 128 laps, Vinny, and that is domination like we haven't seen before. We're going to jump back. Alex Bell, ooh, pit lane for the 15.
Yeah, I am not too terribly surprised from this. He did come in extremely early compared to everyone else. Not sure if it was just on fuel, if he decided, screw it, I'm going to get some tires. But this is definitely going to hurt him if anything, so I imagine probably he was low on fuel.
Golly's fallen off the trail of Bowers just a touch, but Lakatos trying to close the gap on Butler. Last time through a little slow for the 50.
Yeah, also Hinton catching back up to Joshua Banks to resume where they left
off.
off.
Oh boy, I know.
I don't know if Banks, if Hinton apologized over the radio, and explained that it was a mistake. We'll see if they
I think Alec Martinez was apologizing on everyone's behalf because he does not want to see a yellow flag right now. And we're closing in with 6 laps to go, and these two, if there's any battle that could lead to an accident, this is the one to watch.
Yeah, both of them are fairly aggressive drivers. Hinton, Banks not so much, but if you push Banks' buttons, he will definitely.
Oh yeah, we've seen that in the past. Last year there was a couple situations where actually I believe Banks and Eli Hinton did have a couple run-ins last year. Although Eli had a couple runs with a lot of people last year. But yeah, Banks is a great driver. He'll give you a ton of room. If you rub him the wrong way, he will take you and put you through the swisher in the toilet. He does not care about anything in retaliation. So the 36, I'd be careful if I were Eli Hinton pushing his buttons, as you said. 6 to go. It's going to be 5 here shortly, as Martinez leads the way by 11.5 seconds, almost half a lap over the rest of the field.
Yeah, that battle for second place, I don't know what happened, but Golly's really falling off the pace now. Oh, they come back up now.
Who knows? Oh, well, because Bauer probably got in the wall at a 4.
Oh.
Pass for position. Golly takes a spot finally with 5 to go.
Wow. Something's
really
is he out
wrong.
of fuel? I think he's out of fuel.
Is he out of fuel? Oh my goodness.
Something's wrong with that 31.
He's only 45 laps into a run. Something's severely wrong with that 31 car. He's going to hit pit lane.
I think he might be close to running out of fuel.
Well, if he's running out of fuel, Golly's going to run out of fuel because they're 44 laps into his stint, and so is Golly. So the 31 hits pit lane. What happens to the 12? What happened to the 31? I don't know what's going on.
Now he's slowing down.
Oh my goodness.
Are these guys sure?
Did they not fill the car all the way with fuel?
I don't know. Well, something's going on. So the top guys are dropping like flies. Not sure why.
Oh,
Martinez is still in the lead. That's going to take out. So yeah. So
Golly's still running, but he's really off. I think he's saving fuel.
Yeah, I think he's close to running out. They didn't realize it.
So everyone else should be okay here, but those guys certainly are not. I can't believe they would have messed up that badly on the strategy, but...
Yeah, so Bauer's going to pay the price. He's back in 10th, still losing spots. Back in 11.
And Casey Lakatos is chomping at the bit because he's going to be able to get by a couple of these cars. He puts himself into 4th.
He's fallen off the pace from Elliott Butler just a little bit, but...
oh, no! Joshua Banks is looking pretty well destroyed in that 36.
What the hell is going on?
I don't know what's happening, but everything's going...
So,
was there contact between these two?
Oh,
yes, there was.
Oh boy.
Here's a look on the front straightaway. This was just a lap ago. Wow.
Whoa, oh.
Yeah.
They're not bad. I think there's definitely more to that. I'll have to check it out after the race ends.
We will go back, but meanwhile, for the top spot, Alec Martinez takes the white flag. He's free and clear of a green-white checkered. He's been the dominant force tonight. He's led 136 laps of the 160 that we've run, and it's going to be 137 to the end of the race.
Yeah, with an 18, almost 19-second lead over the rest of the field. Some smoke out of 3 and 4, but it's not going to matter. Out of turn 4, Alec Martinez is going to get his first win of the season.
Alec Martinez is going to be a threat for the championship. Martinez wins at Darlington.
And back for second place, we want to cut to go.
Oh,
no!
They tangle on the back straight. Yusuf Golly and Clifton Cockrell. Golly's in the fence. Butler gets on through. Lakatos is coming through as well. He's on through for 3rd. Chaos on the back straightaway as they all tear it up.
Wow, it is kicking off in the last bits of this race, and out of the final few, Elliott Butler is going to come home in 2nd place, Casey Lakatos in 3rd, and Eli Hinton is going to come home in 4th after all of that.
I don't know what just happened.
And Banks in 5th.
So we're going to keep an eye on these guys here. Well, the 48 spinning to the inside. Hinton and Joshua Banks are most certainly not going to be thrilled with each other.
Yeah, Banks is in the background.
And I don't think we've seen everything yet here, Finian. Banks might be he sounds like he's stuttering too. I don't think he is, but into the pit lane.
Oh, he's on a mission.
Yeah, here it is.
There it is. Why can't we be friends? Like,
and
wow,
he turns him.
That's exactly like, what was that?
Oh boy.
What was that between Harvick and Busch? What was that?
2011.
Yeah.
So a chaotic last couple laps here at Darlington Raceway. We have a lot to catch up on here. But look at this, 1st and 3rd for the Sim Motorsports crew. It took a little bit of help to do it, but man, what a finish for this team.
These drivers have done a phenomenal job. They're going to do dual burnouts, I imagine that's what they're trying to do.
I think so.
Hey, there it is.
Well, I've seen ones that are executed a little better than that, but give them the benefit of the doubt.
Hey, Lakatos has kind of got on their way. There you go.
So for Alec Martinez, a threat to win the championship. I think everyone knew coming into this season that he was going to be hard to beat. But a win in race number 2 of the season, and Casey Lakatos coming home third. What a race for Casey. This is one of his best races in ORL. A great way to start off the season for him as well. So dual burnouts here. So there's some sparks flying out there on the racetrack.
Well, this is not just smart. People are pissed at a lot of people are pissed at each other, I imagine, after that. And there's a lot to unravel.
Lots of stuff to talk about. Lots of people to talk to. We're going to go back and watch all of those things here in just a moment. But I think we want to catch a special moment here as they're going to touch noses here at the start-finish line. A cool moment as Sim Motorsports, 2 of the 3 cars on the podium. Both cars inside the top 5. What a race at Darlington. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back live to Sim TV. Real quick, before we talk to everybody, I wanted to get a couple more angles of this this wreck between Eli Hinton and Joshua Banks. This started, Eli tried to clear him out in turn 3 and 4 as well. He was definitely not happy with Banks over the previous incident. You see them get together here, and I'm going to speed this up just a little bit just because I don't want to sit here for 20 years. But there was definitely a lot of disagreement between these two cars, Finian, and I'm not really sure what led Eli to get into the 36 the first time, but the second time there was definitely some spatial disagreement is how I would put it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's what I was curious too, of what, kind of sent him over the edge as far as just blatantly going after the 36 here.
Yeah, he turned right into him, kind of rode him up into the wall, and he got his payback and it worked out for him, but for Banks, that was all there was to it. We looked back and tried to see if Banks did anything to the 13. We couldn't find it. So definitely some disagreements between these two cars. And there's going to be a lot of discussion. We are going to talk to both of them.
And also, we can try to quickly catch, since we're rewinded, if we can get some Golly, what happened to him?
Oh, yeah.
Cockrell.
So Golly, this was really strange. He got wrecked on the white flag lap, coming back around, and this was a lap car that it was clipped in Cockrell.
Oh, it was Cockrell catching him.
Here's a look. Cockrell just pounded the wall and just cleared out the 12. That was not what you want to see out of a lap car.
Yeah,
at the end of the race.
I'm not sure what Cockrell was doing too.
Yeah, I don't. Where was he?
He was a lap down.
Lap down, scored an 11. I don't remember these two having issues. But he just looked like he was fully intending to clear out the 12 car here. No,
No, he hit the wall. He was just pushing, but I don't know why he was pushing so hard.
I thought the 16 car just floored it, but the 12 car was already slow. So it was the 12 car slow, not the 16 car fast. But he just destroyed the 12. You see Butler and Lakatos working their way on through. Wow, Lakatos almost got involved in that. There's his lead. Through the smoke. Oh, man. All right, well, we're going to go back to break again, and we'll be back with you in just a moment to talk to everybody about that chaotic finish. We'll be right back. Welcome back live to Sim TV here now with 5th place finisher Joshua Banks. Josh, a lot of chaos those last 10 laps. We had cameras panning all over the place to try to keep up everything, but the big thing we were talking about was the incident between you and Eli Hinton. You ended up coming home with a top 5. So first of all, before we get to the Hinton incident, talk to us about your race in general, and do you feel happy with the top 5 after everything tonight?
I mean, after everything, I can't complain. I'm really sad that my teammates had the struggles they did tonight. I mean, they were trying to do something to help them win the race and get them in a good position to win, maybe, but it just didn't fire the way they wanted to, and I feel bad for them. I mean, I was off strategy from what they were doing, thinking it worked differently, and it ended up pretty good on our end. But like I said, I'm sad about that. But overall, the night went pretty good. I mean, that first incident I was in, I was really mad about that because I thought the race was over because I saw the nose. It looked destroyed from my view. But we got the damage fixed, come out. The car felt, not too fast, but, enough to compete. And we were able to keep up. But then the aero issues and stuff like that made a big role as well. So to be coming out top 5, really happy with it. Just unfortunate that we got caught up in those early wrecks.
Anything to say to Eli Hinton about this? Are you going to talk about it afterward, or is that over as far as you're concerned?
I mean, we're going to have to talk about it. I don't know if it'll be over. I don't know what his problem was because I gave him room. He just couldn't get around me. That's all I got to say because I gave him plenty of room. Just don't know what the deal was.
All right, well, Joshua Banks, a solid top 5 result for the 36 tonight. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, bud.
Eli Hinton next in the booth finished 4th place tonight in the number 13. Eli finished a lot better than you were running tonight, so I'm sure you're very happy about that. But talk to us about that incident there with you in the 36. He said that it's not necessarily over, but he wants to talk about it. What's your response after all that?
Well, first off, I was just trying to race hard, and I want to thank my sponsor, East Tennessee Ford or Motor Company. I mean, they're coming on for 2 races this season here in Bristol, so it should be fun. But yeah, that issue with Banks, I was racing hard and accidentally got into him. I did not mean to get into him in 3. And off of 4, he checked up a little bit, and I tried to go to the inside on the front stretch. I'm going to try to pass him with 2 laps to go, and we're battling for a position. And he tried to block me on the front stretch, and then once I wasn't going to change lanes once he blocked me. And once I got close to him, it jerked, neck coated and jerked my wheel to the right. That's why he saw me hop over his fender, jerked to the right and hopped over his fender. So I don't know what happened there.
So yeah, going forward, I assume that you're going to relay that to him, and going forward, it's all over. Or what's your opinion on this going forward? How do you think the 36 should handle this?
I mean, he's wrecked me plenty of times, last season especially. I mean, it seems like every time I'm near him, he runs me over. So I accidentally get him once, and I don't know.
But speaking about the top 5 result, though, Eli, you got to be pretty happy with that result. And I mean, are you looking at this as a great result, or do you wish you could have gotten some more, maybe with some different circumstances?
I feel like that's about how fast I was today. Obviously, I was not running there the whole race. That last restart, I started 19, and I wasn't even I had to pass a bunch of lap cars too. So I feel like I was probably a top 5 car. I just couldn't get the track position and got in those first few wrecks. And yeah, P4, I'll definitely take that after that night. How I was running, especially, I was kind of expecting a P8 or P9, but P4, I'll take it.
Eli Hinton, 4th place, not number 13. David Pearson, throwback Ford Mustang. Thanks a lot, Eli.
Yep.
Talking now to Casey Lakatos, who came home in 3rd place tonight in the Sim Motorsports number 50. Casey, congratulations. A very, very solid race. Very well executed. A scary moment there at the end of the race, though, just dodging that wreck on the back straight. Walk us through your race, because it was pretty wild from your perspective.
Oh, gosh. Kyle, as always, got to stay out of the wrecks. That's my number 1 motto. It was a crazy race, and honestly, we did that, get the bonus point early on in the race as we do, but then we went green and we kept the tires on the thing all race basically. So it was a little scary coming back and forth as we got the car going fast there at the end with the tires being better than everybody else. And I tried catching Elliott, that wreck right there at the end with Yusuf, and I think it was Clifton Cockrell. That was scary. I was like, I don't know where to go, and just saw him let the break loose as he came down towards the wall. I'm like, this is either going to end really well or really bad. But proud of Alec with the win and getting us a 1 and 3.
So,
proud. podiums.
So far this season, the Sim Motorsports crew has been performing excellently. So going forward now, I mean, Daytona, I think one could attribute that to maybe the draft package, but you can't attribute any draft package here at Darlington to the results. So is this a promising start for the team, and what are you looking forward to next week?
I think we're at Silverstone next week. We're a road course.
I think so.
Well, that should be pretty interesting. But other than that, it's been very promising. This Toyota's been really flying. Everybody who was in a Chevy is like, man, you traitor. And I'm just like, I've been running Chevy for probably about 15 years. It's, I switched out of it, and it's just been nothing but great right now. So I'm happy to be on the team, happy to be working forward and getting the better finishes that I think we were looking for in the 50 car. So happy to be running the car. And as we saw, Alan Quickie car tonight, a little retro throwback. I threw the sim colors on it, though.
Looks really, really good, Casey. Hey, congratulations. Thank you, by the way. And a great run tonight, and we'll see you next week at Silverstone.
All right. See you next week. Have a good night.
You too. Elliott Butler finished second place tonight in his number 6. Elliott, a wild evening all around, but a second place. Do you wish you could have gotten more, or is that pretty good considering how the night went for a lot of other drivers?
To be honest, I thought I had mid-pack speed at best. I figured if I could manage a 5th place or so, I'd be ecstatic with that. I was just trying to keep myself where I could be there at the end and at least get a decent finish, and somehow managed to get second to play the strategy right.
Looking forward to next week is a road course at Silverstone. Looking forward to that? Is that a challenge that you're excited about, or one that you're a little bit less than excited about potentially?
A little less than excited. I mean, it's nice to go to a new road course. I haven't raced at Silverstone much, but I usually run mid-pack at these road courses, so I'd rather be up front. But one of these days, we'll run enough of them, I'll be up there too.
Elliott Butler, second place tonight in the number 6 Valvoline throwback. Elliott, thanks a lot for talking to us, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, man.
And last but certainly not least, I just realized I owe Alec money now. Congratulations, Alec Martinez.
Oh, that's what we like to hear.
Winning at Darlington for the second race of the season. Alec, congratulations. Not even close to anybody else. Absolute domination. How are you so good here at Darlington? And how'd you win this race? By 20.4 seconds.
2 words. Clean air. That's all it comes down to when you're at least here. I don't know how the race could have changed around if Cabot and Bowers didn't get into each other. That could have. I'm sure that if that wouldn't have happened, I'm sure Cabot would have probably had some money to Okay, I'm mixing up my sentences. I'm just excited. So I don't know. It's fun to lead and win by. I don't know how far I won by, but it was fun. It was fun. I just not a fan of this aero package at this track, so it's a little more challenging when you're trying to get around traffic and get around cars. And a lot of the guys were saying in their car in voice chat were saying that we're just saying that it's so hard to pass, and with how tight it is with the air, you can throw a slide job on somebody, but you're gonna most likely put them in the wall, and you're gonna put yourself in the wall. So you got to pick and choose what moves you want to make, and how hard you want to push it. It's just I don't know. It's good to finally get a win. And hey, guess what? You owe me money.
I was excited for a minute, and then I realized I owe the kid money now, Finian. So hey, congratulations! You won by 20 seconds. By the way, that was the delta there. There was some drama behind you on the last lap, but I wanted to go back a minute about the season in general, because last season you got yourself a victory at Kansas a couple races in, but it seems like already you're starting off a lot hotter than last year. Do you think you can maintain this kind of pace over the course of the season?
I don't really know. I'm sure I know we go to Bristol, and I haven't really been able to run that track a lot because of my computer. So now Bristol, hopefully I can do good there. Iowa, not so sure how I'm gonna do there. And Iowa's not one of my best tracks. ISM definitely not my best tracks, but I think the 1.5 miles are gonna be one of my strong suits. And hate to say that, but I guess you got to be good at something. So if I can get good at them 750 tracks, I'll be happy.
Well, you got to be good at something, and Alec Martinez was good at Darlington tonight. Alec, thanks so much for talking to us. We'll talk to you in a little bit. Congratulations, and we'll see you later.
Thank you.
Well, Finian, Darlington has not disappointed the past couple races we've done here. Fuel on Tuesday, 3 cautions over 182 laps. These guys, 3 cautions over 160. The difference is these guys went green from lap 30-something to all the way to the end. Thoughts leaving Darlington?
Yeah, fantastic. Pretty good race there. Pretty quiet in the middle part of that, and even towards the end, and then it all kicked off in those last 5 laps with several different incidents and a lot of stuff going on with guys running out of fuel, potentially running out of fuel, and a bunch of wrecks involving some of the drivers as well. So, but kept it together, and this Martinez absolute dominant performance at Darlington. Expect to see what he's got on the pipeline for potentially next week too at Silverstone.
Well, I don't think iRacing has a moon model yet, but I think new moon model confirmed because it was full on that last lap. Everyone blowing engines or tires or running out of fuel or whatever was happening to those cars. Wrecks with lap down cars. Alec Martinez leading 137 laps. He led all but 23 laps en route to his victory tonight. Absolute domination. So we'll see if he can repeat again next week at Silverstone. But we head to a road course next week. But the next thing you're going to see on SimTV is tomorrow night. It's the Indy Elite Series from Texas Motor Speedway. Then Yinzer Truck Series action from Myrtle Beach right after. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you later. Have a great night.